Okay, so I'm back. I've received a phone call. So, yeah. But in the meantime, I was able to at least clarify the first two cards. And I'm going to go ahead and read off to you guys the cards that have come off to clarify the first two. And then I'll go ahead and start with the process of asking Spirit to help me to clarify the Four of Wands, which I also want to note that this card also indicates the so-called twin flame, but I consider it the 144,000 couples, just divine unions basically, because Four of Wands looks like 11 the way that it's separated. But anyway, that's just a preference and opinion there. Moving on, the cards to clarify the strength energy is the Nine of Wands, the Tower card, the Six of Swords, and the Ten of Swords. And that is definitely all up in the energy that, again, remember, this reading is definitely personal here, but I'm going to possibly share it because I do think that somebody can possibly, get something from it as well. So someone else can resonate with the energy is what I'm trying to say. So yeah, those are the cards clarifying the strength energy and why we need the strength and the courage to move forward. Clarifying the Four of Pentacles is the Five of Swords, a lot of air energy. The Five of Swords, the Three of Pentacles, the Hermit card, the Three of Cups, and the Empress. When I was getting to the energies after the Hermit card, I was asking Spirit basically for more clarification and also for, an energy that would give the outcome, an outcome for like the highest good. And so the Three of Cups and the Empress energy are what were the two cards that fell out of the deck pretty much simultaneously. Now we're going to ask Spirit to clarify the Four of Wands energy and what's going on and surrounding that. Spirit, please help us to clarify the Four of Wands energy. We thank you and we appreciate you being present. Warring angels and ancestors, I ask that you would give clarity, fight for the messages that need to come through at this time for my highest good and the highest good of all those who are associated with this reading. So we got two cards that came up in the reverse. It's the Devil energy and the Nine of Pentacles, I believe. Yeah. I'm going to ask for some more energy. Spirit, please give us some more energy to clarify. There's a lot of energy. So many cards are coming out each time. I'm almost salty. Okay, but I'm being led to take them all actually. So the Six of Cups here, Eight of Pentacles, the Four of Cups, and the Ace of Swords. And it's funny that the Ace of Swords comes out to clarify some things in this particular reading, because we did see the Ace of Swords starting off this reading just when I was getting ready to shuffle the cards and stuff like that. So a lot of clarity with this particular deck. The Ace of Swords also deals with destruction, and which makes sense because, with the Ace of Swords, you do have to destroy things that no longer serve. You have to cut yourself away from things that aren't working and they're not for the good of everybody involved. So, and at the bottom of the clarifying deck, after clarifying all the cards, we have the King of Swords here. So just so much swords energy for this reading, both ways. Clarifying cards and the bottom of the deck of the main card deck. Come on now. Nine of Swords, King of Swords. So I do feel like that's both of the people who could be involved in this relationship. That could be both of their energy. The King could represent the male energy or the more dominant energy here. And the Nine of Swords, I feel, could be representative and reflective of maybe the feminine energy or the woman in the union. But it could be, both of their energy interchangeably. We are mirrors. So anyway, let us take a breath and begin to talk about the messages that I feel like Spirit is wanting to give to us. Okay. Now in the other clip, which I'm going to have to piece these together, or they'll have to be literally separated and there'll be a part 1 and part 2, but it's really just a continuation of the first one. I'm going to cut the music down just a little because I hope it's not too loud. But anyways, with the strength card, clarifying the strength card, we had the 9 of Wands, the Tower, 6 of Swords, and the 10 of Swords here. With that message, knowing what it means for me, I have to just say it that way. The energy that we got is that somebody was talking about breaking up, basically. There was a breakup that was pretty much imminent, okay? Somebody was thinking about leaving a connection for the purpose of, protecting themselves, shielding themselves. And also because it's like things are not going the way that maybe both parties in the union wanted it to. And so now both people are trying to shield themselves and protect themselves. And they feel like the best way to do that is by ending the union, but not a permanent ending, a union where, okay, we break up for now to heal, but then maybe we'll come back together if it's what, you want. You could be the feminine energy. You could have received that message also from the person that you're dealing with. Could be the King of Swords energy. Or this, like I said, this could be both ways. So this could have been both of you guys saying this at different times to each other. The 9 of Wands also deals with receiving messages and negative messages that make you uncomfortable, that agitate you, that you really don't want to hear. Okay. So yeah, that came up. They shook you. They shook the foundation. They shook what you guys thought you were building. They shook the stability that, and why am I saying you guys as if I'm not involved? What is going on? Please know that I'm talking about myself too. Okay. It shook the foundation and the stability that we really thought that we had created. But I think it was an illusion. I think that there were a lot of things that we really still needed to heal, but we thought that we were bypassing those things with maybe speaking whatever we felt like our truths were at maybe the beginning of the union. Like for me, one of the things that I'm learning is a big deal for me with this is that I actually still was trying not to take care of myself. Like I was trying to get around the step of being independent to later become interdependent, and I was actually codependent. And Spirit doesn't want people who are codependent like that. Spirit wants us to be interdependent upon one another, being able to stand on our own, but if and when we join in union with someone, to also be able to give to them as well as take care of ourselves. And that was a step that I feel like I was trying to get away from. But Spirit was like, no ma'am, Pam, you have to get this lesson because it's important. And to be honest, you'll never totally, that's me saying truly and totally at the same time. You'll never be truly your whole self if you don't do this. And it looks like this was something that Spirit had to orchestrate. And it looks like both parties weren't really happy with what happened, with what truth came out. It has evoked fear in both parties. And this also looks like this was a divine thing. This was a divine act that happened with the Tower. So some truth came out, whether it was stuff that maybe we already suspected and knew, but we just hadn't said it yet. And now it's been said, or now because of the energy that was really at work, there are things that are outside of our control that made certain things come to light that we couldn't ignore anymore. Okay. And that information broke hearts here. And it also basically part of the message was that somebody needed to leave and, go back home or go on a spiritual journey. Somebody is making a sacrifice. And I feel like the sacrifice is being made. The spiritual journey is being taken because there needs to be balance regained within the home and within the relationship. But it's not going to happen without the spiritual journey. Okay. I feel like this spiritual journey is like a sacrifice that's being given. It's like, okay, I'm scared and I don't really want to do this, but I feel like I'm being forced to do this and I have to. And it seems like it could be for my highest good, even though I don't know where the hell I'm going. Don't Don't know if I'm making the right decision here, but I'm doing it. And it's definitely spiritual. Definitely a spiritual journey here. And I feel like because there's fear and because we don't really know where we're going and we don't really know how to do this stuff. And yes, we've got these lessons. There are these swords that are still here. There's hurt, that is still here, but we have to move forward, and we know that we do. And, there's part of us that really wants to get to the spiritual clarity and truth that we need to, but we're still afraid. There's a lot of emotion here. This card has got a lot of water, a lot of water in it. So this is definitely deeply emotionally disturbing. It's also kind of a dark cloud not a dark cloud, but a dark card. But there is a little light, like at the back in between the beautiful mountains and the greenery there. And there's a beautiful thing of pink, the hint of pink, a hue of pink. And I feel like that's dealing with compassion and just the love that surrounds us with spirit. Okay. There is an older damn man that appears to be in the background, also trying to paddle in the boat. And I feel like this could be the case of the blind leading the blind as well in certain circumstances, because the woman in the boat, her eyes are also closed. And the man, like, his eyes are glazed over with some form of white, but it still looks like, though this could be a dangerous situation, which I do feel danger, it's still divinely orchestrated to the point to where both of you guys are in the same boat together. Even though this person who can't really clearly see is paddling, there's something that's leading him still. And there's even a level of trust, I feel, with the woman. Six of Swords also usually means accepting the help of other people and stuff like that. But I feel like this is, with this particular deck and what I see in the imagery of this card, this is more like accepting the universe's help. Your friends are going to come in the form of whatever the universe feels like you need at that time, whether it's a coworker, whether it's an idea, whether it's a word, resources, actual friends. But it's all just going to work out to help you. Romans 8:28. The last and final card that came out was the Ten of Swords here. And I just really feel like somebody feels like they're at their end here. I can't give anymore. I'm tired. I'm so betrayed. Like, it's over. Something is definitely completed here. A cycle is completed here. So there's no more left to give to this particular situation at this time. And so I feel like that's why we have to have the courage to move on. It actually looks like it's the King of Swords or something that's on the ground. Now that I'm looking at this card, wow, thank you, Spirit, for bringing that out. That's really important to me. I'm going to look at the King of Swords and his crown. Yeah, it looks like it is the King of Swords on the ground. So I feel like this could very well be the energy of the male. Not saying all of this is his energy. Like, both of you guys are connected, so of course he could feel this way too. But what I'm saying is to say is that this person who also could be experiencing this Ten of Swords energy is the male in the energy. Like, the woman here is, or the feminine energy, is thinking about regaining her power, taking her power back, getting back in control of herself and her life. But for the king here, there are wolves surrounding him. I mean, they're just sniffing him now because he's like dead, face down on the ground. And he's got a sword in his hand, and it seems like he was trying to fight, but all these other swords came up from his back. He may be somehow feeling betrayed for this spiritual journey that this woman, who he feels like is his woman, I heard his woman, is going to have to go on. And, I think this is going to be something of a personal attack to him. I feel like it's going to bring him to his end. Or this could be the way that he feels. It's going to bring him to his end. So, he could also be the energy of not wanting to let go, because even as we move on now to the Four of Pentacles energy, there is a king on a throne, or a prince, but it's whoever this is a dignitary. They are someone with some authority and power because they have the crown on their head and they don't want to let go. This person is looking very sad. I'm using the Melanated Tarot as the main cards. And then, like I said, the Modern Spellcasters deck is my clarifying deck. So this man, I do feel like this is the male energy now, moving on as we go from the Ten of Swords energy, which Spirit showed me is the masculine energy here, to now this Four of Pentacles, where there's a king sitting there and not wanting to let go. I really feel like this is his energy. You know, this is his energy, and the woman could be picking up on it too, or she could of course have her own energy. But I'm going to read this as if this is the male energy here. Okay. Just at this time, and I'll flip it back around when it's time. So the male energy is also the person who's been in this Five of Swords energy, who's been wanting to me, control a situation, you know, and manipulate it. And I feel as though I don't think this person's intentions were totally wicked, but it's still devilish, you know, it's still not the best. There was deception. There are wolves surrounding this person, and even the look on this person's face, this man's face on this card, as he's looking back into our direction here. First of all, he's among wolves. So for me, I'm getting the vibe that, okay, the whole birds of a feather possibly flock together type energy, or you lay down with dogs, you get fleas type stuff. So it's like this person has learned this manipulation and this scheming and plotting and deception and controlling energy from others, you know. And now because this person was around that, grew up around that, or lived with that, they have gotten a lot of those energies as well, you know. And they feel like it's the right thing, I guess, and it's a protective mechanism. But he's looking in the direction, and he looks a little sly, you know, and he looks a little deceptive, but like he's ready to fight. You know, he's ready to war. And I feel as though this person could be seeing this situation, I don't want to say as a game, but that's what I heard, like as a game of the mind here. You know, this person tries to be witty. They are wanting to be ahead of the game. They want to deceive because they don't want to be deceived, or, you know, or maybe he doesn't want to, but that's what energy he still takes on, because he doesn't want to be deceived. He doesn't want to be eaten alive, you know, so he does the eating type stuff. That's kind of the energy that I got from that with the Five of Swords. But Five of Swords is usually mind games. It's hostility as well. The way that the communication is, it's cold, it's sharp. I feel like this person isn't putting much energy into some of the conversations, and even with the conversations that are being had, conflict is still arising. So some of us could still be arguing, or there could be cold, harsh words spoken, you know, even though this person ultimately doesn't want to let go. The way that they're showing it is they're being kind of short. Even if this is in the form of text messages, they're being short. They're not really showing much interest and all that kind of stuff. Also, there's fire in this card, so I feel like a fire sign could be indicated here as well, Aries, Leo, or Sagittarius. The next energy that we're moving on to is the Three of Pentacles, and what Spirit gave me is that for sure somebody is, you know, wanting to have this mind control because they want to build something with someone. There's a third party situation for sure here going on. That's what I got immediately from the Three of Pentacles. But as if that wasn't enough, the Three of Cups also came out, and that happens to be the card in the way that it was positioned right underneath the Three of Pentacles. So that for me confirmed that this is definitely a third party situation. I think out of this male's fear, out of, you know, the fear of maybe not having financial security, or not having enough money, or not having enough resources or help, or whatever the case may be, they have created a third party situation and I feel the reason that they created the third party is to build. They think that that's what's going to help bring them resources and stability and security. Okay. At any rate, some of the messages could be about the fact that this person, some of the cold, you know, whether it's communication via phone, email, whatever way y'all communicate, it's kind of cold, and the guy is talking about help. Like, I need your help. I need you to help me, or you don't want to help me, or I want to build with you, but you're over here on some other shit. Like, that's kind of the energy I feel like. They're trying to hold on because they want to build something. Okay. And they want to build with you as a person, but they also probably want to build with this other person too. Or they also want to have this other person here to assist with the building. But it looks like somebody's going to be going into hermit mode, or someone needs to do this. The hermit energy is also Virgo energy. So the Virgo in this scenario, it could be who's getting ready to, it looks like they're walking away. And to be honest, the way that the cards are set up, the Hermit card is actually facing away from the Three of Cups card. So somebody is feeling like they need to go within, they need to go into solitude and solace and, meditate, be enlightened that way, seek spiritual guidance to light their way and to let them know what path they need to take. Intuition is definitely heavily involved here with this slight moon here in the back. I feel like this person also knows that they need to go into nature and to ground, because in the background in this Hermit card, there's a huge tree with all these roots, and like the hermit guy or the priest or whoever this person is, they're like, their foot is right smack dab in the middle, of that. But this person is looking for something. They're looking for, okay, which way should I go? What choice should I make here? And again, with it being facing away from the third party situation, I really just get the vibe that somebody doesn't want to be a part of a third party situation. While they may have agreed to it at some point, because both parties are vying for the attention of the dominant male in the situation, I feel like somebody doesn't want the competition, or someone doesn't really want to, they're not with that idea of having to share, and the truth is, with this particular Three of Cups situation, there is no competition. There are two men on the card and a woman. A man can't compete with a woman, and a woman can't compete with a man. Okay, for some people who may come across this, there could be a person who could like both parties, like you could like men and women. Okay, and if that's not the case, usually I read this as a sign that there could be two women, but one could be more masculine and the other one is a more feminine sign. Okay, it really can be either way. But the point is, there's a third party situation, and the woman or the feminine energy in the card is like, she's like, hey, I want some. And she's reaching up and she's asking for the guy to give her something out of his cup. And it's like, he's not even seeing her, he's got his head tilted back, honey, and that cup tilted up, and he's only focused on what he can get out of this damn cup. And the other man that's in this union at this time, the lady is over him and he looking up at the dude as he, drinks it all up, but I just get the vibe that this is not really a third party situation where everything is celebratory. This is not just friends getting together and hanging out with one another. I feel that everybody in this situation is connected somehow. They're intimate somehow. Even if the intimacy is just that both of these other parties are dealing with that same guy with the cup in his hand. Definitely third party energy. And this also happens to be right in between the Hermit card and the Empress energy. So I honestly feel like this third party situation is what's in between somebody's spiritual glow up. Okay, which of course could be, now I'm going to flip it and read this energy as if it was a woman's energy, as far as the Four of Pentacles here. So if this in fact is also the female energy, there is a man in her life that is causing conflict, and he's talking about building with her, but at the same time he also wants to build with another person. This lady is conflicted, because I do feel that there's definite chemistry, there's definite attraction here. She feels somehow secure with this person and somehow at home and everything, and like he could be resourceful and all that, but at the same time her spiritual path is calling her in a totally different direction, and I don't feel like this woman wants the third party situation. And so I feel like she could be realizing that she has to go within, and if she goes within, I don't think she's going to accept the third party situation. I think she's going to walk away from that, and in doing that she will level up to her Empress energy. An Empress is a woman, in my opinion, who has gone through all this stuff but has leveled up, regains control, regains composure. Her emotions don't necessarily master her anymore, and she also begins to take care of herself. She can make decisions and choices out of logic and reason and fairness and justice. And she also is abundant, and she's a nurturer still. I love you and I will always love you, but this, I don't stand for it. An Empress to me has her self-respect. She has her dignity. So that's what I feel like is on the other side of this third party situation, for whoever that may resonate with. Empress energy could be any one of the signs, but Empress energy for me is usually, I read it on from the traditional tarot as Aries, Leo, or Sagittarian energy, but it really could be any energy, any one of them. But this woman is on her shit, and she gets her power back, and she's not sacrificing anything anymore. Like, the bull is not dead. The bull is not in the fire anymore. The bull is just in front of her. I feel like she's going to be spiritually grounded, protected by spirit as well. So that's some beautiful energy coming out of this fear thing, and this here is what's influencing the strength energy. So moving on to the Four of Wands. Let's move on to the Four of Wands energy here, and then we'll be letting it go. Okay. The Devil card in reverse. Right now, I feel like that definitely indicates that toxic behavior is going to die. Toxic behavior will end. It literally will be over. There will be no more of the addiction. There will be no more of the codependency. There will be no more of just this sexual chemistry and tie to one another that's like pointless. I feel like sex is also about manifesting things as well in this life. And if you're not manifesting anything good, then you're definitely manifesting some other shit. And that's not what we really want. What else is indicated? Control and manipulation, deception. All of that's going to be in the reverse. Also, someone who's in the Nine of Pentacles energy. So I feel like somebody who could have been acting like they were single, even though they could have been in a union, who was focused more on their own financial security and stability and their resources. Whoever that energy is, that's also going to be over. And I feel like that's whoever. Okay, so how I mentioned that I feel like there's a man that's dealing with two women. Of course, that can be reversed. It could be a woman with two different men. But whoever that person is in the relationship, they're dealing with someone from their past with the Six of Cups energy here. It could be they could feel like they were childhood friends, or they could just feel like their childhoods were very, very similar. That could be the connection between them. But the Six of Cups energy also deals with reminiscing and memories and looking back on the way things used to be. Okay. But whoever that is, I feel like those are the energies that were in reverse. So whoever is from the past, the energy is in the reverse. And I feel like it was karmic energy, devilish energy. Okay. After those cards come out, you get the Eight of Pentacles. So it's the devil energy, the Nine of Pentacles, and then the Six of Cups. Okay. The next energy that comes out is the Eight of Pentacles. And I feel like the Eight of Pentacles to me is about, with this particular card, it's so beautiful. It makes it kind of clear. It's somebody working to save something, working to create something to have for a rainy day, putting things away, saving, working to support oneself when things get tough, when things get hard. This is a person who likes to save. Okay. This is Taurus, Capricorn, or Virgo energy as well here. This is somebody who's storing up their riches. There's a cute little dog that's being made that there's a man working on a little shelter, a stone shelter, and he's got all his money, and he's got this beautiful green stone, and a squirrel is in there, and this dog, but it's raining. And so I feel the vibe and energy that I get from that is that everything that's important to this man, he's got in this little mini shelter that he had to create. So somebody, and I feel like this is whoever's from the past, they're trying to create something, for the things that they really care about. But it's based to me out of energy of like lack and fear and bad. It's like a negative vibe for me. Even though rain isn't bad, it just seems a little like, oh, I'm saving for a rainy day, or I got to do this to protect from the rain. Whatever that could mean for some of you guys. It could be a little emotional, what you guys are trying to build here and why. I feel like somebody doesn't ever want to be left out in the cold. They never want to be in this place where, you know, they don't have something over their head to keep them from the rain. Even though the man who's building this crafty little place, he's being rained on. He's just trying to make sure that the dog and the squirrel and his money and stuff and his food are covered. So Eight of Pentacles usually deals with the entrepreneurship card for me. But in this case, somebody's putting in some hard work. They're putting in hard work to save. I don't know how that may resonate for some of you guys, but I'm going to move on because this is already getting really lengthy. The next card is the Four of Cups here, and somebody is dissatisfied with something. They could be dissatisfied with this Eight of Pentacles energy. They could be tired. Like, this is toxic. And the only reason why I'm here is really because I'm trying to save what I have or keep myself from losing what I have. And technically, while that's not bad, I could be putting myself in some other type of emotional or uncomfortable situation, worried about my money and my finances and security. And whoever it is could be very well dissatisfied. I feel like they could be doing a lot of meditation, or they're definitely being spoken to by spirit. And I feel that they are recognizing that they're still dissatisfied. But with this Four of Cups, it looks like somebody is definitely doing some meditation. They're doing spiritual work at this time. And because they're doing that spiritual work, and because they're going within themselves, really trying to figure out maybe where this dissatisfaction, where this boredom could be coming from. Why is it that they still feel like they're missing something with this Four of Cups here? Why is it that I'm wanting to establish something, but I still don't feel anything? It could be getting ready to come to an end, and they could receive the clarity that they are, desiring and that they need. And it could cause them to walk away maybe from this connection. Or it could at least bring clarity into what it is that they need to do to destroy. Like, whatever is in them that they need to destroy, that they need to cut away, could be cut away. Because again, this is clarifying the Four of Wands energy, which I really feel is energy about a home and home life, stability, and some people creating a home together. I'm going to ask Spirit to help me clarify this energy some more. I'm going to ask. So basically, all in all, after this toxic energy decides to go away with someone from somebody's past, somebody's going to go into some meditation if they're not already in that energy, and they're going to be trying to figure out what they need to cut out. What action they need to take to cut some things that are no longer serving them out. So I'm going to ask Spirit for more insight on this Four of Wands energy at this time. Spirit, please give some more clarification on the Four of Wands energy, please. Give some more clarification on the Four of Wands energy. What's going to happen after this clarity comes out, Spirit? What's going to happen? Can you please help us to clarify the Four of Wands after this Ace of Swords energy? Two cards came out. I feel like somebody is going to probably release themselves from the Eight of Swords energy, or they're going to somehow sacrifice themselves maybe. And the Strength card came out. And that's really funny because the Eight of Swords did show itself, I want to say, before. And I felt like that was somebody still being blocked. So even after this Ace of Swords energy comes out, someone is still going to feel mentally and physically bound and stuck. They are going to sacrifice themselves. After the Strength card, The Three of Cups, are you serious? The Three of Cups came back out again. I feel like somebody is going to feel like after some sacrifice is made, they're going to feel somehow like they're going to get their strength. They're going to get their strength back somehow. And they're going to have something to celebrate. They're going to have a reason to celebrate. Which makes sense with this Four of Wands here then. It looks like somebody may move from... Okay, so after the Ace of Swords, it's probably going to cut away, because I was asking in my mind, like, what is the Ace of Swords cutting away? What needs to be destroyed? And so the Eight of Swords is what needs to be destroyed. So somebody being mentally stuck and physically stuck and sabotaging themselves as a result of somebody else's control and manipulation and emotional abuse and maybe even possibly physical abuse, somebody is going to be freed from that. And they're going to find their strength, and they're going to have a reason to celebrate. And the World card is the last card that just came up. I'm going to leave it at that note because I feel like that's everything. Okay. And the Seven of Swords, they were being deceived too. So both parties in this situation, I think, as far as maybe if it's two women who this man is having in this third party situation, or if it's two men who a woman may have in a third party situation, or whatever the situation may be, the other person was somehow deceived as well. Okay, so it's like the man and the King of Swords has been deceiving everybody, been trying to control everything. So the Seven of Swords was underneath the World card. There's been deception all the way around with both parties here, and both ladies, it looks like, are going to free themselves and regain their strength, and they're going to have something to celebrate. Okay, and they're gonna level up. Somebody gonna move, somebody's gonna move out, someone's gonna change residences, somebody might travel, go on vacation somewhere, and I really feel someone will be spiritually elevated. They're gonna move on to their next cycle. Somebody's gonna end this karmic cycle, because I do feel like everything clarifying the Four of Wands was karmic energy. I feel like whoever the karmic person is in this situation, if it's not all people, because this whole third party situation, everybody could have been karmic or past life shit, but somebody's leveling up, and that will be coming to an end, and it'll end that cycle. That is good news. That is beautiful. That is beautiful. That is beautiful. So the signs that are associated here to me: Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces, Leo, Aries, Leo. Aries, Leo, Sagittarius, Gemini, Libra, and Aquarius energy, Capricorn, Taurus, and Virgo. Yeah. Those are all the signs. A lot of Leo energy, a lot of air sign, and a lot of earth. And yeah, even a lot of water here. So yeah, earth, air, earth, wind, and earth, wind, water, and fire here. Everything, all the elements are represented. So without further ado, I pray that this resonates with somebody. I think I might want to ask some more questions, but no, I don't. I think this is good. So I'm going to say peace and blessings to everyone. Shalom. Those who celebrate the Sabbath, or at least observe it today. Peaceful rest and blessings to you all. All right. Bye-bye.